Hi guys, so today we're going to make that box that you saw in the intro. I'm not sure exactly what to call it, but probably has something to do with like, sorry, it'll probably do something with like a shadow box frame, but it's not really that, so we'll see. But either way, we're going to get right to it, and if I have any of the items that are still available, I'll have them linked in the description box. Those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you're purchase items to those links. So this is actually something I saw on a Hunkydory video or tutorial or however you... Oh, something fell over there. Whatever it is they do when they present their stuff. And it's when I was looking for more info on their magic, like on their like mirror card stuff. So maybe if you look it up that way, Flight of the Butterfly or mirror card, maybe you'll find that same video. Because I'm telling you, they put out tons of videos and they're usually like over an hour long every day, all the time. And you know, I do like about their... tutorials that they do it kind of, I guess kind of like I do, like from scratch, and then sometimes it doesn't work out. Most time it does, but you know, they're like, oh okay, well, then they either work it out or they'll just let you know, like, oh, next time do this, you know. So it's kind of cool. I saw that they had made, it was like a box, you know how we make boxes, right, all the time, fine, but it had an aperture built in on the top, which is nothing new, we've done that too. And oh, this paper pad's so pretty. Look at this. Hope it's still available, honestly. Sometimes I'll just grab something because, of course, I've been buying a lot of Hunkydory recently, and then it's like out everywhere. Look at that. Gorgeous. And this is matte-tastic, so it's not shiny, but I think the paper I have that I'm going to use for the base box is a little bit shiny. But anyway, and then it has an aperture. But then within that, you can put like another box underneath. I don't know how to explain it, facing up. It's basically you have two box bases. That's what it is. And one's shorter and skinnier, and then the other one that's regular you would normally put on your box. And so then you kind of play around with that. So I think we're going to have some fun with this. I'm just trying to see if I have anything that would fit in there if I'm... I don't want to do just a circle. I was thinking something like a scallop. Oh, see, this one's smaller, and then the larger ones. We could even use that. Well, that's still kind of small. It's a small aperture. I was thinking about making like a bigger box, you know, because I was gonna say this could be the little gold piece. Actually, we could utilize that, right? To make like a little frame. Yeah, see, this one's bigger, but I didn't want it to be boring and just a circle, but maybe that's okay. So let me see the sizing on this. Yeah, because that's a 4-inch circle. How big do I want the box, you know? That's the only other issue. 5.5. Okay. We can do that. And if the box is 5.5 inches, okay, let's do that. So we'll base it on this. I'll still try to work in like a scallop circle or something cute because I didn't want it just to be plain, but at the same time, that's what we have here, right? So we can do that. Kind of boring, sorry, but it doesn't matter. Whatever size dies you have or shape, you know, scallop, plain, stitch edge. Oh, that'd be cute. Okay, maybe. But I already have this cut out. Ay. Sorry, just because you know me, I'm thinking out loud. What's cool about this topper kind of things, or like these paper pads, is that you can take this whole thing and now that helps you be part of the project. But if you don't, you can just nest two circle dies together and make a frame, right? So we'll talk about that when we get there. Okay, so let's say we have a 5.5-inch box. Again, I do these numbers for you guys and we talk about it because that way, if you have a small machine, let's say you only have the marquee, you can still make a box. It's going to be small, but you can still do something like this. It's going to be very small. But if you could only go up to 4.25 or whatever it is, then, you know, max that out and see what other numbers you can come up with. You might have a little box that's like 2.5 inches or 3 inches. You know, it just depends on what you want on the sides for your box, the width that you can run this through, because we are going to have to run this through your die cutting machine to get the aperture cut, right? So we're going to do 5.5-inch box. So it's a nice size. That means the lid, again, is the 5.5 inches, because that's like the legit measurement. You know, the other day when I had made that cute little tent box, this one, when I was done with it, I put a little glue to hold on to it, but you can glue it in if you like. It was a little bit smaller in here because I had made, I think, a 2.5-inch aperture or like area. Because when you do the box base, it takes some off of all around, right? So it's a little bit smaller. So if you really want the box base to be the 2.5 inches or the box base to be 5.5, then make the lid a little bit bigger. You can plan it backwards, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, reverse engineer it. But right now, what we want is an inch on either side, because I want the box lid to have an inch depth. So that means we're adding 1 and 1 here, obviously 1 and 1 the other direction, so that's 7.5-inch piece of paper. Square, right? And then for the box base, we're going to basically do the same thing. But we're going to do it twice, and one's going to be shorter than the other one. So for the box base, let's say lid and base are the same. And then to make a built-in shadow box kind of thing, I guess it's not a frame, it's just a shadow box. We're going to do the same thing, but I only want that to have 1/2 inch sides. So 5.5, obviously the base, and then we only want 1/2 inch sides, so 1/2. So we're only adding 1 inch, so we need a 6.5 inch square for the frame. Let's just say shadow box. So this is going to be pretty easy, guys. It's really straightforward. It's just a fun little trick. So the 7.5 inch squares, 2 of them, and one that's 6.5 inch. And then we'll go from there. But I have this pretty paper I had picked up. It's a pattern pack, Adorable Scoreable pattern pack. I always bring it out of the sleeve and then I can never get back in the sleeve, so oh well. Oh, you know what? This didn't say it was Matte-tastic, does it? Do you see that? I don't see that anywhere. Am I just... Oh, down here. Perfect. Good. So what I'm going to do is... Well, look at this guy. Just go ahead and then we have even the inserts. Actually, you could use this. Okay, we might do something else, a little something different, instead of using more of this nice paper, because this stuff is not inexpensive, guys. I mean, it is when it's like on sale or if you find it or however, but still more expensive than just like white paper. And if we are going to just push it inside the box, I might as well use that. Okay, I'm trying to remove this without removing everything, but I think it all wants to come out. Let me just take the whole thing. Oh, so pretty. And really I want these two. So again, I'm utilizing what we have here, because a lot of times you take the gold frame away, that little frame, and then you don't even use it, right? Or you might use it on a different project, but... And then we'll come back and use some of these other fun things when we make our box. But for right now, what I'm going to do... I mean, even this looks so pretty already. I don't know. Look at that one, has all the roses on it. I mean, this one probably matches better. Oh my gosh, you guys. So a lot of this you're not going to see anyway, because we're going to cut away the aperture and all that, so... You know, maybe we go with this one. I don't know. Kind of like the look of this guy, but he really... Okay, well, let me go through. I'll be in the back. We have this paper, and even though the other ones are super gorgeous too, I think this will be fun because it's very just good. So I am going to take 2 of these and cut them down to 7.5 inch squares, and then I'll take just a white piece of cardstock and do that one 6.5 inch square. Okay, so 7.5 inches on these guys, 6.5 on just a white piece, and I'll be right back. So I have my squares here. I guess I can put this up for now too. We'll decorate in just a minute. So I have the 2 7.5 inch. That's going to be my top and my lid and my base, and then that little base that's going to be like nestled into that, which is 6.5 inches. And basically I need an aperture that's going to cut the size of this, and I didn't pull it apart because I just didn't want to keep it separate for now, but that's okay. So again, you can make your own little frame. We'll talk about that in a minute. I just want to be careful with these guys, I feel like. It's getting kind of beat up, but we'll glue it down, no problem. I'm just going to grab a circle. So my whole thing was in my mind. I was like, oh, I'll use my new Hunkydory nesting dies, you know, the cute ones, but I went with this circle one, so we don't need it. But basically we need an aperture that's going to be cut. Actually, oh, that one works well. That one's good. Sorry, you know what I was just thinking as I'm doing this is that we want to be able to see through it and see like the background paper too, so maybe we don't want to use this circle. I mean, we can use this one. Let's pretend this is inside the box. And this is our box on top, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to look through this to that, and then I'm going to use some of that liner paper, I think, inside, just so I don't use more of this stuff. But if we had it open like this, then this circle at least lets you see a little more. But how big is this guy? See, I hadn't planned on that. 2, 4, almost 5. Okay, we can do that. Alright, so I need to find a circle that's at least... Woo! Actually, that'll work. So this is my biggest circle in this. You can do a square. It doesn't have to be a circle. So I guess I'm not going to use this after all again. Poor little circles in those kind of little like frames. People never end up using them. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so I'm going to use this. And again, it's whatever you have. So if you have a different shape, a different size, obviously you're going to come up with that on your own. I cut these basically the same from the same side of the paper and everything. And it is single-sided paper. We are going to center this, and I think to help me center that, I'm going to go ahead and put some score lines. So this is our box lid. Oh, see, the other day I told myself you're going to lose that thing. I can't believe I didn't lose it. Okay, so on this scoreboard, this is the Hunkydory adorable scoreboard. You measure your box lid on the regular side that you would just measure things, and the box base is over here on this opposite side. You just go backwards. With the Scoremaster, like the Craft's Companion one, you do your box lid over here, and then you flip it this other way so that the bottom of the scoreboard is facing up, and then you do your box lid on that side, right? Just a little bit different. So we're doing 1 inch sides. So on this, all I'm taking this is just going here and doing my 1 inch. Okay, so I'm gonna all 4 sides just go down and do my 1 inch. And while I'm here, well, you know what? We'll just talk about this one. That's fine. And that's gonna help me kind of see where that center might be, right? I put that right back there. And let's see. I guess it doesn't matter because it's a circle. But I'm just eyeballing this. We have like 1/2 inch maybe all around. Okay, and then I'm going to take this to make the actual aperture. Okay, interesting. Okay. It doesn't go underneath it, so I'm going to have to just move that anyway. Very well. Actually, you can even fudge it just a little bit, because let's say you're a little bit off your aperture. When you go to place this, you can kind of hide a little bit. So with that, it's about almost 1 inch all around. Either way. Alright, that's where I'm going to put that. And I'm going to run this through my machine. Now, of course, you need a machine that's big enough to do this. That's why I was saying if you have like a marquee or a MIDI or something else, you can just size this kind of project to what you have. Something smaller, right? I'm going to run this through and I'll be right back. I don't know when I'm going to release this video, but you guys, I cannot believe how fast in the UK well, I can believe it because it happened last year too, but not that fast, I guess. But fast, just not within minutes. The memory bookmaker for Tonic Studios sold out. I don't know when I'm going to release this video, but this might be Freeform Friday. I don't know. I really want to put this video out though because I'm excited about it. That's craziness, right? So this is going to be on here. And then we also going to do some acetate. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put the acetate now. You can do whatever you like. I'd rather place it on here. Well, I mean now after I score it. But some people sandwich the acetate between this and the circle, so you can do that too. I'm just going to place it in the back. I think that's the easiest. It does look a little more stylized though if you put it on top. You know what I'm saying? The acetate between here and here. So whatever it is that you want to do, go with that. Okay, so this is our box top like we said. And let's work on our box bases and then we'll do all the little cutting and all that stuff that we have to do. So, box base, again, with this scoreboard, all you're doing is scoring from right to left, and we're still doing 1 inch on the other one, right? Because this is the same. So when you do 1 inch, this little piece that's hanging out over here basically gives you a 1/16 of an inch. It makes it a 16th of an inch smaller. I'm sorry, I might be misspeaking. Anyway, so this little piece right here gives you a little 1/16 of an inch. So you're making it 1 inch plus a 1/16 smaller, and that's what helps it tuck in really well into your box lid. So again, 1 inch. So every time we're taking away a 1/16 of an inch, and it gets sit smaller and smaller and smaller. And we're going to do the same thing with the other piece, but that time with the insert. I guess we can call it a box insert. Sorry, I keep wanting to call it a frame. That makes the shadow box part. We're only doing 1/2 inch, right? So 1/2 inch. And what's going to happen is that this little box is going to be tucked inside the frame and glued down. So when this one goes in, it's going to be, this one's going to push into this 1/2 inch. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, half inch, half inch. Okay, all around a half inch, and I'll be right back. And with all the boxes, just like we always do, we're just going to cut in and make our boxes. I did learn a little something too. Some people say that if you do it the same way, like these two are cut the same way and then these two are cut the same way, you'll have less areas where every time you turn a corner it's a cut, 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 cut. You know what I'm saying? Like here there's a white line, here there's a white line, here there's a white line from, it's very hard to see, and then here there's a white line. If that bothers you, if you cut two sides the same way and the other two sides the same way, you're only going to have those cut lines on two of the sides. I don't know how to explain it, but I just always do it the same way. So I'm just going to cut down here, right on that score line, and then divot out a little piece. And I'll do the same thing for all of them. So what I'm trying to say is on this one, then you would do the same thing. Cut it right here and cut it a divot. And now when you fold this, you have two nice folded areas and only cut lines here. So only when you look at it this way, you'll see white. But when you look at it the other way, it's just nice and folded over. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, on this other one, we're going to cut this way and that way. And I just keep going this way. I just rotate and do the same thing. It's very hard to see the score lines on this. I'm like feeling them with my fingers. Okay. And again, they're all done the same way. So I will cut them all up just like this. Same thing with this guy, same thing with my lid. Up that one little guy, then there, right? Okay. All of them the exact same way. Score line, divot, score line, divot. Oh, you know what? That's funny. I was just thinking about that memory album. I haven't finished decorating it because there's other things I want to show you guys how to do. So obviously this is before that. Okay. I'm going to finish this up. Again, same thing. I guess we're going to do this almost all together. I'm just filling the line there, there, and there. Same thing all around. Okay, I'll be back. I think we're done with scoreboard for now. And let's go ahead and put this back on. You know why I didn't put it back on? Because on the video it goes clack. That's why. And so I spare you guys that. And now I'm like, oh no, where did I put it? Good thing I found it though. Actually, I still need the scoring tool, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and line this. This, as you can see, had stamps on it. Stamp carrier sheet, acetate, you know, wherever you, if you want to buy it, you want to recycle. Like that one's too small. Oh, this will work. So all I'm going to do, honestly, this is going to be underneath and no one's ever going to see it. So it could be the whole length or it could be just barely covering. That is perfect in the height. Alright, so there's that. And I'm just going to glue it down. I use a wet glue. If you guys like to use a dry glue for this, I don't think it's a problem. I just always use it. We're not making a shaker. Now, you can make a shaker, so if you wanted to. Let me just clean this up. It looks like it's... I was just thinking because it actually had lettering from the stamp that it was carrying. That actually just left it because it looks kind of like the script that's on there. But also, you can run this through an embossing folder if you want to give it some texture. Just something fun to do. Okay, so I'm going to let that set up for a minute, but we'll just form our boxes. So, again, this is the base, but you're going to do them all the same way. I guess I'll just use a different scoring tool. Score, score. Again, this is the box base. Now, I'm just scoring this, you know, I always kind of bring it in, score that way. But for this other one, I really want to make sure it's really snug when it goes up into the lid. So when I score it, I'm going to score it, let's see, I'm going to fold it this way. I'm going to score it out. And that way it pushes out more of the score line and it takes up a little more. It might be just like, you know, micro amounts, but that little bit helps. So I'm going to push it out that way to make the box go more that way instead of being pulled in like I usually do. I always just kind of score in. So for this one, again, out. And then that one out, and then this one I'll just score just like we did in the other box, right? Just bring it in. Okay? So when I come back, everything's going to be scored up. And our ribbon boxes, I'm leaving that to set for a little bit. We're just going to glue them. And again, I use wet glues because they hold up longer over time. Over here, line that up. Always right to the score line there. Kind of paying attention to this line too, just so it's nice and straight. And then I'll go into this one since I put glue on it already. Keeping those guys nice and straight. Again, pay attention to this top side here. This paper is really pretty. So again, Hunkydory has their Matte-tastic, where it's matte, which is probably what a lot of you guys prefer. I think especially an American audience, if you will. We like that matte paper. They do a nice job of their shiny papers. 'Cause I've seen some European papers that are like just like shiny, shiny. Theirs is more of like a satin. So I can deal with that. I can deal with it. Sometimes some of their pattern papers that they include like in a magazine or here and there might be shiny, look like gift wrap, but thicker. And they're okay, but I prefer like the Matte-tastic and whatever the gorgeous collection they come out with. But look at that. So, same thing with these guys. Glue tab, close it up, glue tab, close it up. All around, okay? And same thing with this together. I just want to tell you, this one's going to go on top of this one, basically. But this is going to be glued into this, the lid. Now, I used to use white paper because I'm going to line it with some of that pretty insert paper. But let's say you didn't. Let's say you want to use the same paper. So score it. Obviously, it's going to be white on one side and, you know, pattern on the other. Score it just the same. You can score it facing up. Just score it, you know, however. But when you go to fold it in a way that your colorful paper's on this side, and this side is the back of the paper, the white part. And, you know, I've folded it in so that these tabs are in here. If you want to fold it the other way, that's fine. You're not going to see it anyway. You're not really going to see those tabs. So you can still fold in the tabs and glue them inside just like I did. Or you can glue them to the outside. It doesn't really matter, okay? So yeah, just keep that in mind. Since I use white paper, that's why I forgot to mention it. But just basically like this, I would fold it opposite. I'd fold it up, right? To make this shape. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so exciting because it's so cute. Okay, making sure this all together. So basically, again, this is going to nestle up inside of this one. And the reason it does is because we made a box lid and a box base, even though that's not really the base. And then this one's going to go inside of this. So that one keeps it down, so it looks even bigger, like the box is like, oh, you know, taller, which is really sweet. But on this one, and I'm going to glue it in because I don't want it to fall out. But, so what I'm going to do is, this is a 5.5 inch square, right? I mean, we can still, I don't know if we can do something with this. Maybe another time. You know, you can still put it in there. What I want it to happen is that you still see a lot of the box, so that you know it's a shadow box, not just like, oh, cool, look how pretty that looks. Oh my gosh, it looks like a timepiece or something. So anyway, I just want to find one of these insert papers to put behind there. You know, they're very, actually these aren't as muted as most insert papers that Hunkydory does. I mean, this is cute, but you're not going to see it, right? This one's pretty. So I'm going to look for something more like that one. So let me see what they have. Or, I mean, you can even pop this stuff in, but the whole point of using the white paper was to not use any more of the kind of expensive paper. I feel like we have to kind of go with this one. I mean, this is pretty too, but most of it will be covered. Right? Yeah, okay. Well, let's go back over here. And we'll go with this. I'm going to cut a square that's just smaller than 5.5 inches to kind of go in there, okay? Actually, as I was cutting, I thought it actually has to be smaller than even the 5.5 inches because this is a box base, so the actual base is actually smaller. Let's see. Let's see. It is 5 3/8, so I need this to be like 5 1/4, I guess, inch square. So I'm gonna take a little bit more off this, and I'll be right back. That blue off because that blue doesn't really go with the rest of what's going on here. But yep, there we go. So 5 1/4. That looks really good. If you want to put sequins in here, you can definitely do that. You have 1/2 inch to play with as far as the height, you know. So if you're gonna do sequins, I would really glue this down. You don't want to go behind there and just get lost. And then again, the acetate, of course, you want to do that really nicely too. We have this guy. What's funny enough is that we even have this piece if you wanted to layer this with this and place it down. But again, you know, that kind of just, look at that. I don't know. That's actually very pretty. Or maybe I'll bring that gold back. Right? The gold one. How much? Let's see. I mean, there's just so many ways to play with this. Again, it's covering up all this pretty stuff. That's kind of why I was like, doesn't really matter. And then if I popped it up, it would be separate from the gold? I don't know. Kind of just wanted this guy on his own in there. But not just by itself. I was going to add some little flowers. And then don't forget we have this guy on top too. So we have this and this. So this is where you start kind of playing with your design options, right? I mean, that looks pretty, but it looks very plain too. Of course, we're going to have a little sentiment or something. You can put the sentiment on the inside. Let me grab the little flowers. And the thing is, you can see past this. That's why I even used a pattern paper in there, but like kind of liking the look of that with it. So let's look at that again up here. You can see in there, you can see that little like butterfly down there. I don't know that I wanted to repeat it so much. Okay, well, let me go look and see what I have as far as little flowers, something cute. I'll be right back. Plug in my hot glue gun because I'll probably need it in a minute. Again, we have 1/2 inch to work with in there, and I do like that look. But if we want more of the paper to show, it would have to be something like that, right? A little more clean. I don't know. That's tough. All right, well, we're going to have to commit. So I am going to put that on, what's it called? Dimensionals, just for funsies. And I guess if I change my mind, I can pull those out. I don't know. I can still lay that gold one around it, though, if I change my mind as far as that. And this doesn't really matter. I'm just eyeballing. Actually, it will matter at some point. But if this is the way I want my little flowers, you know, then I'm just going to maybe put it like that. Before I really push it down, make sure that's pretty centered. Oh, see, I'm way off. There you go. More down, down, down. Much better. Okay, there we go. So that's good. Right there. And then I grabbed some of these little flowers I've had in my stash forever. The only thing is I can't find the multicolored ones for some reason, because I know that one would have like a pink or something else. But I have these, some, you know, too bad. But then I have these kind of little beige ones. These guys are bigger though. And they're beige. At least I can pull a little stem out here. So again, with these guys, usually I'll just keep them like in a clump, even. Looks like these are wrapped around here. So I'm going to play with this just for a little bit because I don't want to waste your guys' time while I'm unraveling things. But just these guys, you know, get yourself a few. I usually work in 3s, whatever it is that you like. Those two want to stay together for some reason. Oh, I think I may have spotted my other colorful ones, but that's okay. Alright. And maybe we want to stick some here. Maybe we want them all around here. Maybe that guy and one of these guys. You know, however, because we have, again, a little bit of a 1/2 inch there to work with. So I'll pull some of these out. I'll just play with this a little bit and see what I'm thinking. Now you saw me just cut away that leaf. Sometimes some people, what they like to do is grab this and give it a little twirl, twirl, twirl around something, maybe something smaller than this. But then that can be also part of your design. You have this cute little like spriggy thing, you know. But whatever you like to do. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm just going to snip this away. I kind of tied these together. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, but my glue will help me stick that down. And yeah, just whatever you want, of course. Oh, maybe give this a little bit of a zhuzh, a little movement. That glue fell out. Now I need it. Okay. You know me, I'm always like, oh, this will be quick. No, I'm like, it's taking a little bit longer than I thought. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this down in here. But I do want these to stay a very certain way, so maybe I'm going to put a little glue on these guys. And all that little glue stuff I just get rid of later. Thinking about putting a third one. Nah, I better not. Okay. I'm going to hold on to this. I'll be right back until it sets up. So, I'm going to stick this down right here. And then I thought, you know what, if we're just going for it, we might as well go for it. So I'm going to put that down, push that down really well. Again, 1/2 inch isn't like all that much, and these are pretty thick. But I think that looks kind of plain, so I'm still going to put a few more on either side. So there. And So I always like odd numbers. Threes are great, right? Rule of threes always looks great. Fives, you know, one, if that's what you're looking for, but I just wanted to kind of... Okay, I'm gonna let that set up for just a minute, and I'll be right back. Give this a good squish, because honestly, it's paper, so we can flatten it out. Which is what we need to do. Okay, anything else you want to pop in here? You know, a little sentiment in here too. Maybe flowers on the other side. Whatever that you like to do. And then we're going to stick that in here. So let me add this on just so we don't have this later too. Oh, you know what? You can actually pop this up if you want a little more dimension too. There's always ways to add more dimension. I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down, but I think that would look really nice. Again, if you don't have a thing that already has a frame, just use two of your, you know, dies, nesting dies. One and then the next size that you would like. Run them through and you'll have a little frame left over there. I'm gonna let that sit up for a second, and then as we're looking at that, maybe I'll pick out a little topper. I mean, it doesn't even have to be from that section because these all obviously go together. I mean, we even have this little stuff, like all kinds of cute things. Birthday wishes, you are the love of my life, will get well soon. Okay, these are interesting. Maybe birthday wishes, but wishing you all the best on your special day. Ooh, this one's pretty. And, you know, a different shape and all that. Okay, I think we might be ready. Woo, okay. So, we're going to glue this together. So you definitely want this to be the way that you want it to be, right? Like this. And then, I guess I'm going to put that up there, huh? I think so. Maybe some little pearls or whatever. Cute. Okay. Oh, actually, why don't we pop some in here too? Just being extra as we are right now. Let me grab some of these guys. And these little pink ones? Sure. So I'm going to take a moment and just pop some little pearls. Maybe regular color too. So I can go in there. There and there. Just a little something. And maybe over here too. You guys, we're doing this start to finish, aren't we? I didn't want to cover the butterfly, but that's okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do to glue this down is I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to pop glue in. If you're using a liner tape, what would be really fun is to just get it going, and then you just pull the backing off. Remember how I showed you guys kind of leave the backing for a little bit? But anyway, that's how I'm going to do it, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm sticking to it. So I'll be back. I'm going to hold that against the side, hold this against the side, till it sets up, and then I'm going to put glue on that side and glue on that side and hold them together also, okay? And if you're kind of new at box making, like right now I'm being very careful that the glue is kind of towards the very base, like down in there, so it's not impeding this box, you know, the sides, because obviously this is smaller than the box lid. Or you can just put some hot glue, just a bead around, you know, maybe one or two of the edges, and just push it in, like maybe here and here. Push it in, and that way it'll just hold on to that very edge. And you won't see it, because honestly you won't be able to see it, and it looks really nice. But look at that. Oh my gosh, now let's bring back our box base, and hopefully my glue's dry so it doesn't hold on to it, but look at that, you guys. Same paper, looks very pretty, and I guess I'll finish this off, and maybe I shouldn't have brought back the base yet, but okay, so look nice right there. And I'll probably put a few little pearls, just like we did here, just echoing around this guy. Actually, I don't want to cover up those roses that much. Well, do I? Let me see. Too much. Oh, we're going to cover those rosebuds. Maybe I go with something smaller. You know me, I don't like covering things up later, but that's okay. Alright, we're just going to go for it. Alright, there we go. And then I'm just going to pop on some little pearls. But hopefully that was fun for you guys. Let's talk about it again real quickly. If you want a 5.5 inch square box like I have here, it basically has an inch inside here, but it looks like 1.5 inches or, you know, bigger because of the way we had to create this. See, I just told you all I didn't want to glue that together, so don't let that go in there. So box base and box lid are 7.5 inch squares, scored at 1 inch for the lid on the lid side, scored at 1 inch for the box on the box base side, right? On the box base. The inside one is a 6.5 inch square, scored at 1/2 inches on the box base side. Okay, whatever scoreboard you have. And yeah, that's it. I mean, then I just put like a 5 1/4 inch little matte piece inside of this. But if you're using paper that's already colored or already has a pattern, then you don't even have to worry about that. And everything else is just whatever you like, of course. So really, really fun. I think that came out really, really nicely. And honestly, if I wanted to, I can mat the inside of the box with that same paper. That'd be really cute because I have some more of that paper left anyway. So maybe I'll do that. All right, guys. Again, about 5 1/4 inch square on that. Thanks for watching. I hope that was fun for you. I'll have images coming up. I'll have links as available in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.